After a love spell, are we? Looking for something to make them really obsessed. Up all night thinking about you, can't get you off of their mind? Okay. Hi, I'm Victoria Pearson, but you can call me V. I have been a practising witch for 25 years now, well, more than 25 years actually. And one of the most common questions that I get asked, almost as soon as people find out I'm a witch, is can you do a love spell? More specifically, more recently, probably over the last 5 to 10 years or so, there's been a shift. And now people are more likely to ask me, can you do me an obsession spell? I'm like, on another person? Or do you want to work on your own obsessive nature? Like, what's going on with that? And it turns out that when they say they want an obsession spell, what they mean is they want a love spell, but like to the nth degree. They want a love spell that is overblown. They want a love spell that makes the person obsessed with them.
What is you doing, babe?
So there are 3 main reasons why doing a love spell is a terrible, terrible idea. Possibly the worst idea you've had, actually. And I'm going to explain them all to you. And then I'm going to tell you what you can do magically instead to enhance your love life, make yourself feel good, get a bit of romance going. We're going to come back to that in a second, but we're going to touch first on the most important reason why a love spell is a terrible, terrible idea. I'm going to break this down for you so simply and so easily, and that is consent. If you have sexual relations with somebody and they are only doing that because they are under the influence of alcohol, that is assault. If you have sexual relations with somebody and the only reason that they are doing it is because they are under the influence of drugs, that is assault. If you have sexual relations with somebody who is only doing that because you've got a weapon pointed at them, that is assault. And so, when you are having sexual relations with somebody that is only having sexual relationship with you because of magic, guess what that is? Yeah, that's also assault. I don't actually know how to explain consent more clearly than that. But if you are having to do magical working on somebody to get them interested in you, then they're not interested in you. They are not for you. You are not for them. You are going to find somebody out there who loves the way you are, just the way you are. But you can't do that if you're busy making somebody else obsessed with you, because you're going to be dealing with that obsession. You're not going to have time to spot your one because you're going to be too caught up with this one. And this one isn't for you. If you are having to force it in any way, then it's not real love. And if you are prepared to assault somebody, to use magic to interfere with their free will in the same way that any other assaulter would use alcohol or drugs or weaponry, you are assaulting that person. That is not what love is. When we love each other, we don't hurt each other. May a love like that never find me. You do not love this person. If you are willing to assault somebody for your own gain, you do not love that person. And if after I have said that, it hasn't sunk into you that that is a terrible thing to do to somebody, you need to go off and put all of your spell stuff away until you have done the appropriate level of shadow self-work to be able to be trusted with that level of power. If you are willing to assault somebody, you are not ready for witchcraft. If you are willing to harm somebody in that way, you should not be trusting yourself with that level of power yet. You need to go and work on yourself, work out why you think that's okay. May a love like you never find me. The flip side of that, of course, is reason number 2. The other reason that love spells are a bad idea, because say you did it and say it worked, and say this person is now so deeply in love with you and you're going to be together forever and it's wonderful, there will always be a bit of you in the back of your head wondering if this was really meant to be. Does this person really truly love you, or are they just under the influence of your working? I will say, I think when love spells are applied to a situation, I don't think I have ever seen a relationship that started in that way work out well. Not ever. It inevitably ends in horrible recriminations, in obsessive behavior, in the breakdown of that person's mind because they don't know why they feel that way. They know that's not their real feelings. It does real damage to a person. And it also does a damage on the caster. Not in some sort of karmic blowback way. Although, if you are a Wiccan, you should bear in mind that love spells are going to get you bitten by the threefold law. If you believe in the threefold law and you believe that what you do comes back to you 3 times over, and what you're doing is removing somebody's consent and agency from them, that is a nasty act to be doing, and you should expect some kind of karmic kickback from it. Those of you that aren't Wiccans might be thinking, yeah, well, I don't really believe in that, but you will still have to deal with the fact of not knowing if your partner really cares about you or if they are just under the influence of magic. And that is a horribly insecure position to be putting yourself in. You're going to feel pretty awful about that pretty damn quickly. And it doesn't matter how good of a partner either of you are. Maybe you're thinking, well, they just need a little push and then they'll see how brilliant I am. Maybe they just need a little nudge in the right direction and they will realise that they love me. But let me tell you what my grandma told me. Love, my darling, is like a fart. If you're having to force it, it's probably shit. The one for you will need no magic. It won't need any forcing. It won't need any magical pushing along whatsoever, because it'll be the right thing for you. Sure, it will require work, it will require communication, compromise, trust, loyalty, but it doesn't require any magical working. What is for you will find you. And when it's real love, you'll know you don't need to do any magic for it. It will just happen. It will just happen and it will be fine. You know, I'm not saying that it'll be smooth. The path to true love doesn't always run smoothly, but it never, ever involves somebody being forced. And that is what a love spell is. Now let's go back to what I said in the beginning of this. Over recent years, I've had a shift away from people, and I have to say it is normally women, asking me for love spells and instead asking me for obsession spells. And it is usually straight women that asks me this. So they are asking me to tell them as a woman how to do a spell on a man to make him obsessed with her. Now, I know in recent years, slang has picked up, and so we kind of associate the word obsessed with good things, right? I'll be like, oh, love your outfit, absolutely obsessed, right? And we've softened the meaning because of that. And words do change their meanings, but when we're talking about love spells specifically, obsession, really? Is that really what you want? Let me ask you, woman to woman, as a woman, you want a man to be obsessed with you? Are you stupid? Do you know what obsession means? Do you know how many women every single day are killed by their partners who are obsessed with them? You know how many women every single day are stalked and assaulted by men who are obsessed with them? And you're asking me to do that for you? Baby girl, no. No, we're not going to be doing that. That's just dangerous. And if you don't fully understand why that's dangerous, I suggest that you pick up literally any newspaper from anywhere in the world. It won't take you long to find a story about an obsessed man harming a woman. And yes, this can and does go the other way quite often. But in my personal experience, it's normally women asking me for these spells for men. But any gender this could affect. You do not want a potential romantic partner to be obsessed with you. Now, I've actually gone and got a dictionary for this so that I can underline my point. Being obsessed with someone means having intrusive, compulsive, and overwhelming thoughts about them that dominate your mind, often leading to anxiety, jealousy, a need to control or possess them, disrupting your own life and focus on healthy love, which involves mutual respect, trust, and independence. So, does obsession sound healthy to you? Why would you want to do that to yourself? Why would you go to the effort of asking the universe to do that to you? Now, I know some of you super delulu girlies are sitting there going, well, the guy I'm thinking of wouldn't be like that. He's so nice, he's so kind, he's so gentle, blah, 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 blah. That was before you went into his brain and started messing around with magic in there. Obsession spells are not love spells, and you shouldn't be doing them on anybody. And I'm saying this as somebody that has no problem with baneful magic whatsoever. Hex that person if they deserve it, fine. Obsession spells? That's just dangerous for everybody involved, and I am shocked at how many TikTok and Instagram witches are like, oh, let me do this little obsession spell and he'll be obsessed with you and think about you every night. That is not what you want. That is not what you want. A normal, healthy love does not involve obsession. A normal, healthy love gives each of you space for your own self. It gives you time to grow. It gives you space to breathe. It feeds into you. You feed into them. They feed into you, and you grow together. None of that is obsession. If somebody is obsessed with you and they're constantly having intrusive, compulsive thoughts about you, that isn't healthy and it isn't love. You deserve better than that. And honestly, so do they. And I feel like I've told you off quite a lot here. So when it comes down to it, the three main reasons that you shouldn't be doing those spells is that it's not safe, sane and consensual. The person didn't consent to it. If they did, you wouldn't need it. If they're not consenting, you're assaulting them. You don't want to be doing that. Or at least I really hope you don't. I'm not going to help you do it either way. You will always wonder in the back of your mind if that person really loves you, if you start your relationship through magical working. Always. You won't be able to help it. It'll become an obsession for you. And thirdly, obsession spells are dangerous. They can lead to people getting killed. If you're looking for magic to make somebody obsessed with you, maybe you need to take a little bit of time, journal out what that's about, maybe meet your higher self in the astral plane, talk it out, find out what it is that is making you need that level of attention, because that is where your magical working is going to be best placed. Anybody that asks me for, well, any kind of spell, actually, you do get the 3rd degree from me when you're asking me for a spell, because I want to make sure that we're casting it the right way. But if you come to me asking for a love spell, my question to you would be, what is it about this person specifically that you feel like you can't live without? 9 times out of 10, nothing whatsoever to do with the person in question. It'll be to do with how they make you feel. Do they make you feel desired? Do they make you feel powerful? Do they make you feel soft? Do they make you feel protected? Do they make you feel needed? And you've got to really drill down into what is that need coming from, because that is what you're lacking in yourself. That is what you need to work on. So if I was to drill down into this and decide that what I'm actually lacking in this situation is feeling desired, what I might do then is some glamour magic that makes me feel pretty and desirable. Or if I am wildly attracted to this person because they seem to see me in a way that others don't, I will do some shadow work about how I'm presenting myself, and I might use spell work to, for example, improve my confidence, or make sure that, my words are getting out. Is my speech blocked in some way? Am I doubting myself in some way? What's my body language saying when I walk into a room? Am I projecting the best version of myself in the situations that I find myself in? That will tell me where I need to do spell work if I do. Most likely what I need to do is some self-work though. I think the two go very, very much hand in hand, and I think that your spell work works better when you've done your self-work. It's fashionable nowadays to call it shadow work, but for us old crones, that had a different meaning back in the day, and so I still feel weird about it. I still call it self-work or shadow self-work. But yeah, you need to be drilling down into your own self. And that is where I would recommend that you direct your magical working. Instead of a love spell on somebody else, do a love spell on yourself. Fall in love with yourself. And I mean that quite literally. Take yourself out on dates. Buy yourself little treats. Find yourself a nice hot bath with the fancy bubbles because you know how to treat a lady. Bring that energy to yourself that you want a relationship to be bringing to you, and you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to be projecting a much more confident, sexy, lovable aura that people are going to be magnetized to, and you won't be needing any spells, love spells or obsession spells, because you will have the energy around you of people that value you, people that feed into you, people that help you grow. When we talk about manifestation as witches, we often talk about the art of detachment, and that is a really difficult thing to learn. In fact, I still struggle with it myself, detaching from what I want. And I'll give you a good example of that, right? So I have always wanted to travel my whole life. it has never felt possible for me. I've done manifestations for it every year, but I've never felt like it's going to happen soon. It's always felt like it's going to be something that's far in the future, maybe. And then this year, although I did my usual travel manifestation, instead of being like, oh, I'm really sad about it because I'm not going to be able to do it this year and I don't even have a passport and there's just no way that it's going to happen, which is how I may have felt. Instead, I said to myself, I'm going to detach from the idea of going abroad, and I'm going to work this year on visiting lots of different places in the UK, expanding my horizons in the UK and doing the trips that I can do, sort of make the best of it. And within half an hour of writing that in my journal, I got a call from a friend who asked me if I would like to go to Germany with her this year, very soon this year actually. And I was like, I haven't got a passport. I don't know if this is possible. But instead of saying all that, what I said was, yeah, we'll find a way. I do need to get a passport though. And so started that day on getting the passport. My passport application has been a little bit bumpy, but it has now been approved and printed and it is on its way as I'm filming. Yay. And I'm getting to go on an all expenses paid trip to Germany, which if you had asked me even 2 weeks beforehand, do you think you'll be able to go abroad this year? I would have laughed and said, I'm not even going to be able to go abroad in the next 5 to 10 years, let alone this year. What are you talking about? And now here I am in it. And it's because I detached from that, right? And so it is the exact same with a love spell. You need to detach from a specific person, especially because, again, if you're throwing all your manifestations at this one particular person that you think is perfect for you, you might not notice the person over there who actually is perfect for you. And so keep it vague and light. But although you may want a relationship, focus instead on how you want to feel. How you want to feel loved, cherished, respected, honoured, like you're the most important person to that person. And then treat yourself that way instead. That's detachment. Detachment is knowing that, yeah, that would be nice, but I don't need it. I just want it. I don't need it. I can be really happy without it. When my trip to Germany came into pass, it was because I had decided I didn't need to go abroad to still be able to travel and have fun. Now, you're in the same position, right? You want to be in a place where you don't need love. It would be nice to have a little bit of romance in your life maybe, but you can buy yourself flowers and chocolates and you can book yourself in for a little massage and you can show up for yourselves in the little ways as well as the big ways by doing things like, checking in with yourself, making sure you're holding your boundaries, making sure you're spending some of your time doing something that you really love and enjoy, because those are the sorts of things that you would do for a partner if you had one. And so by doing these things for yourself, you're telling the universe, this is what I deserve. This is the energy that I have in my life. This is where I'm vibrating at. And the universe will come up and match it. And you will not have to force anything out and end up shitting your pants. You can do love spells on yourself. You can put your red rose petals in your bathtub. You can enchant your lipstick to make your words irresistible to others, or you can enchant your eyeliner so you can always see to the heart of the situation, or you can carry gemstones around with you like citrine or pyrite or rose quartz that enhance self-love, confidence, passion, all those sorts of things. There are a ton of different correspondences that you can take from love spells to make a love spell for yourself, but my challenge for you is to forget about that waste man that isn't giving you enough attention and focus real hard on really, really loving yourself, pouring that energy into yourself. I'm not saying that you don't deserve love if you don't love yourself, because we have all been at stages in our lives where we do not love ourselves. What I'm saying is that like attracts like. And if you are treating yourself badly, thinking that you are worth less than you deserve, if you're not giving yourself that time, if you're trying to force relationships with people that are not already head over heels about you, then that is what you're going to attract. Forget about other people. Focus on romancing yourself. And all of a sudden, when you're not that bothered anymore, that's when it's all going to come in. And that is why people always say to you, oh, you always find the one that, you always find the one when you stop looking. That's true. It's because of detachment. It's because you've stopped trying to fill a gap in yourself with somebody else and worked instead on filling that gap for yourself. Not a euphemism. So join me on Monday for my next vlog, 6 a.m. UK time, but I don't know what I'm talking about yet. I might be reviewing a very fancy pants new camera that I have got for my trip to Germany, or I might be taking you somewhere. It kind of depends on which one I get edited first. I've also got another witchy one coming up in a few weeks, and I can tell you that that one is going to be probably about justice spells versus vengeance spells, because if you watched my vlog last week, you'll know that I said I had rants about that, and I do, but this one's just seemed a bit more topical. You're all looking for love spells right now, so I thought I'd do this one today and save my justice one for next month. If you can't wait until next Monday, 6 a.m. UK time, to see me again, I will be here every single morning in your shorts, doing a great big deep breath, letting you know what I'm grateful for, sometimes letting you know what's challenging me that day. And I will also be here on a Witchy Wednesday doing an intuitive tarot card pull for you as well. If you want to book me for a private tarot card read, you can find it on my link tree, which is just there. You can also find on there the links to the Summer Realm trilogy, all of the other books that I've written, my Patreon, my Ko-fi, my socials, all my things. Go and stalk me. Have fun with it. Don't get too obsessed though. So like and subscribe, or don't. I'm not your mum, but either way, you have yourself a magical week.